Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm chilling in the cell. It's your boy Tubbs right here. And I thought that I would tell you another story. But this one, I'm going to go way back. It was the first time I had ever been in trouble. And I was young. And I went to the feds. When I first got there, they sent me to Springfield, Missouri. So I get to Springfield, Missouri, and they got what they call an FCI there, and this particular prison was a hospital, and so a huge hospital, and they got people from all different levels there. They got people there that's finna do 6 months, 18 months to 10 years to life. And the reason why they got so many different levels in this place is because it's a hospital. And so people get sick, they send them there. But I wasn't sick. And so I couldn't understand why they was sending me to a hospital. Well, they need people to run the hospital. So that's why. So when I got there, they told me I would be assigned in the kitchen. And so I'm thinking, well, I don't know why you assigning me to a kitchen and I didn't even cook. But come to find out, they had a lot more different jobs than cooking, in the kitchen. So I got there and they had a lead man. The lead man said, Tubbs, you and this other little guy are going to be charged with, cleaning the tables off once they get through feeding. They call it chow time. So they get through feeding everybody. Our job was to clean the tables off, sweep mop the floor, and we could leave. So I think, I think we worked Monday through Friday, and they had a weekend crew come in and do that. So the trade-off was you can do Monday through Friday, and you have your weekends off, or you could do weekends, and you have Monday through Friday off. So, it was a trade. I chose to get the weekends off, because a lot of times, they played a lot of baseball, and they played some football there. I really couldn't play football there because a lot of the guys that's in the federal system, they played college ball, man. When I tell you they threw that ball so damn hard, man, shit, I couldn't even catch it. I thought I was a good football player till you get up in there. As far as basketball, man, it's like, no. I played basketball later on when I went to the state joint, but when I was in the feds, man, them guys are coming. A lot of them guys, man, catch cases out of them colleges and stuff, and they just straight up phenomenal hoopers up in there, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you and tell you that I could play against some of them guys. And even in the state, you got some guys that's phenomenal hoopers there too. So you got what they call a C League, B League, and A League players. But anyway, back to the story, the mummy. So I get in Springfield, and me and the guy that I'm talking about, it was a little guy. His name was Jacob. And when we first met, he told me, he said, yeah, I'm a Jacob out of Crown Heights, New York, New York. And I said, okay, Jacob, from Crown Heights, New York, New York. I'm Tubbs, 12th Project, Kansas City, Missouri. Since we name dropping, maybe people know each other, running the same circles, since we run in the same circles in this prison. He said, touche. Ever since then, me and him was pretty cool. So we would always kick it and go to chow together. So while we standing in the line, they had a lot of Mexican dudes there, man. And Mexican dudes there was pretty cool. Now, I don't know what the deal is, in California, where they got the Mexicans against the blacks and the blacks against the whites or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't experience that. So when we were there in the chow hall, we had our own little language that didn't mean nothing. It was complete gibberish. I would be like, Skibbergometes, Amenetis, I said, Minutos, Modatos. And then he would come back and say something like, Oh, se petito, petitos, a paquito, se benito, palatos. I said, oh, see. And so the Mexicans got like, man, what kind of Spanish is that? What Spanish y'all talking? I said, listen, this is before your time. You guys don't know how to speak this Spanish right here. This is, beyond your comprehension. You stick to the old Spanish. This is the new Spanish. And then we would start talking this gibberish at each other. And it drove the Mexican dudes crazy, man. They'd be like, oh, man, they just messing with us. It's just some bullshit that they said, which was true. But we had nothing else better to do, so we talked that shit every day we get in the chow hall. So everything was cool until it was time to leave one day. So me and him was sitting at the table, and we waiting on everybody to leave. And on all these tables, they just love giving you apples, man. Apples every day. Apples, And the worst thing about a prison apple, man, it's one of the most prettiest pieces of fruit that you ever saw. A prison apple, man, is like, you take those pictures where people sit there and they paint a picture. That's what a prison apple is until you bite into it. They shiny because they spray this clear coat on there, and they are just big and huge and shiny and red or green, and they just look almost plastic. And you thinking, man, this is going to be the most delicious apple you could ever bite into, but you liable to bite into a worm. So most people, they just left them apples on the table. So like I said, one day we sitting there waiting on everybody to leave, and all of a sudden this little white dude come up, and he looked crazy as hell. You just, as soon as you seen him, you just thinking, man, what the hell they got him here for? Because he didn't belong in a prison, in my opinion. He belonged in a mental institution. So I said, what's up, man? And he said, my name is Paul. Paul, I love apples. Is them your apples? And so they had about 5 to, I don't know, I'd say 25 tables. It was at least 25 tables everywhere. And there's apples everywhere, about 5 of them on each table. And so these guys just left these apples. And I said, well, they are our apples. But, Paul, I love apples. If you like them so much, then help yourself. So he'd go and take his t-shirt and gather him up a bunch of apples, and off he went. So the next day, he comes back again. Hey, I'm Paul. I love apples. And I said, okay, Paul, I love apples. Help yourself. So he do it again. After a couple of days of this, they didn't have no more apples. And so the few apples that they did serve was like people that were diabetic. So instead of getting like a piece of cake, they got an apple, and which they left on the table. So when Paul I Love Apple showed up, for his, daily fix, he said, where's all the apples? I'm Paul, I love apples. I said, okay, we understand that you, Paul, you love apples, but it ain't but a few apples today. He said, well, I can work for them apples. I work hard. Now, our job is to wipe the tables, sweep, mop the floor, and we gone. But since we there and you got Paul, I love apples, so I get up, wring the mop out, hand to Paul, I love apples, and off he go. So when he get through coming down one aisle and going up another, Jacob said, well, 2 of them apples was mine out of the 4. So he went ahead and did his work. So every day, it was cool because we got somebody to do our work for us. And that worked out good until one day they announced on the speaker, Tubbs report to the kitchen. Tubbs report to the kitchen. And then they wanted to see Jacob in the kitchen too. So we go in the kitchen thinking, man, it's our day off, man. We shouldn't have to work today. So we get there and we like, man, what's going on? The whole kitchen was just flooded. It was flooded. Because Paul, I Love Apples, came there on day off. And he seen all the apples, so he thought, hey, I'll just go ahead and work for him and leave. Man, that dude took that mop bucket, man. He dumped water everywhere. When I tell you everywhere, he filled it up and dumped it, filled it up and dumped it, filled it up and dumped it. When they asked him why he was doing it, he told on us. So they said, man, y'all gonna be here all day cleaning this shit up. And that's what it was, man. We were there for a long time trying to get this, because they didn't have no shop vac. So we had to mop this water up and get it up. And if they had a squeegee, they damn sure wasn't letting us use it. But like I said, we had to get all this up. So after we got through, the lead man said, I'm going to reassign y'all. You know, I guess it was part of our punishment. He going to reassign us. But he said, this time, I'm putting y'all in the dish room. And I'm thinking, well, shit, that's cool, you know, because I ain't finna go to no bathrooms and whatever, you know. I ain't scrubbing nobody's shit. So I just really go to hole to do that, you know. And he said, yeah, y'all be going to the dish room. So we get in the dish room, and they had this massive, when I tell you massive, I didn't even know it was even possible. The thing looked like a freight train, but they had this massive dishwasher. And we get in there, and our job was to just, when they had these big carts coming in of all the dishes and everything else, we had to dump them, spray them, load. So we was loaders. We was thinking, okay, this is cool. So we couldn't leave until all the dishes was done. So our job, like I said, was to spray them, load them in this big gigantic beast of a dishwasher, and the two guys on the other end, they was catchers. They had to catch them and put away the plates. Catch them, put away the cups, spoons, forks, etc. So we get down there, and the dishwasher is just going at a steady pace. And so we look at each other like, man, let's just bury the ass, you know. So we spraying, washing, loading, spraying, loading, spraying, loading, spraying, loading. And we just go on and on and on and on and on until we just flood that dishwasher. And they down there and we just laughing our ass off because they trying to catch these dishes as fast as we get in there. And finally the dude's like, man, what's going on? What's going on? Y'all loading it too fast. We like, okay, we'll slow down. We'll slow down, you know. So while he's looking, we load a few. As soon as he stopped looking, we back at it again. Man, we are loading this damn thing and loading and loading and loading. And finally, it clogged up on him 2 or 3 times, man. The dude get mad, and he said, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I ain't never known you can quit a prison job, you know. But he left. So he went to go see the lead man. Lead man came in there. He said, man, I need my man in here, and y'all gonna have to work with him, man, and quit, you know, fucking with him. I said, okay, man, we cool, man. So you go and leave. He said, no, I'm gonna stand here and watch the work and make sure everything y'all doing it right. We said, okay. So we wash the dishes, put it in slow. Wash it, you know, with this little rinser, put it in slow. Wash it, put it in slow. Or better yet, I'm saying wash it, but our job was to rinse it. So as we rinse it, putting it in slow, he get bored looking at us, so he leaves. Soon as he leave, man, we are spraying that stuff and throwing it in there, and we flood him again. So all of a sudden, it get on the other end, it just shuts off. Boom! And the guy get frustrated. Boom! Off he go again. This time he refused to come back, man. So we ain't give a damn, man. We just, you know, bored. So the guy said, I got something for y'all. I got somebody for y'all. So we thinking, man, we ain't have to think about nothing you talking about. So the next day, it was this big old black dude. When I tell you he was big, man, this dude was, I don't know, he had to be about 6'4". He filled up the entire doorway. So we was like, damn, look at that big old fucker. He looked like, you know, grape ape or something down there. And we had to think twice about, you know, flooding that dishwasher and letting it stop on him. But we didn't have to think long because we barely put some dishes in there. And when it got on the other end, boom, it stopped. It's like, man, what the hell's going on? And he was down on the other end, and he was taking a cup out of the dishwasher, and he moved so slow. He grabbed it like he was going in slow motion underwater, and he was just moving so slow. And I was like, man, we're going to be here all day fooling with this dude at this pace. So Jacob said, well, why don't you go down there and help him? I said, why don't you go down there and help him? He said, well, you know, I can't help him. I said, why is that? He said, because I got 2 problems. I said, what's that? He said, 1, I'm in jail. And 2, I'm a coward. So I was like, well, shit, you know, I'm in jail. I ain't no damn coward. But shit, I really ain't trying to go down there and be around that big old fucker. But, okay, I'm game, you know. So I get down there and I'm like, man, you just get on one side, I'm going to get on the other. He said, my job is cups. I said, okay, my job is cups. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be on that side and I'm going to be on this side. I said, man, what a stupid fucker, you know? My job is cups. So he grabbed a cup and he moving it real slow. I said, man, you ain't doing no cups, man. We got to get out of here, man. I'm going to do the cups. Your job is spoons. He said, my job is cups. I said, well, that was your job. Now your job is spoons. So then I'm taking all the cups. Every time the cups come through, I'm taking the cups and I'm taking the plates. You can get the goddamn spoons. So I look up, and every time I look out my peripheral, he had these huge hands, and they was coming after my throat in slow motion. They was coming out my son. I said, man, get on back, mommy. I said, man, you ain't gonna do nothing, man. You can't do nothing. And I said, get on back before I take the spoons from you. So I'm steady moving. And Jacob trying to get me to stop. So we playing this little game with each other. So no matter how fast he go, I'm determined that you ain't gonna stop this dishwasher. So as I'm down there, this guy is taking too long to do the spoons. He doing the spoons one at a time. So when he get too many of them, you know, that's in the tray, and we got to put them away, I grab all the spoons. Taking spoons too. Put them away. Man, when I did that, the mummy got hot. That mummy got hot. I look up, man, it's about a few inches from my throat where he was doing like this in slow motion, right? So I look up, I said, get on back, mommy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. So we get this stuff done. So next day, same old thing. I gotta be down here and catch the dishes. Jake unloading them. And every once in a while, I piss the mummy off. He going for my throat in slow motion. I push it on back. Tell him, get on, monkey. Mommy, you ain't doing nothing. So then, this go on for about a week. So one day, I couldn't wait to get to work so I could mess with the mummy. You know what I'm saying? And I say, Jacob, let's hurry up and get up there, man, so I can see the mummy. So we get there, and I go in the cafeteria, and I'm strutting like a peacock. But when I go in this time, soon as I hit the door and walk in, the mummy is moving like this. He is putting them dishes away and somebody else is feeding them in there. And I said, oh, shit. Oh, shit. You know, the mummy is moving at an alarming rate, you know. So I go and get Jacob. I said, look, Jacob, we got a problem, man. He said, what's that? I said, man, look in that door. So he look in there, and that mummy is just moving. He is just moving. He is moving. And if he can move like that, he can move like that. So, shit, you know, messing with him wasn't no good old idea, you know. But at the time, we got to figure out what we going to do. So Jacob say, what is this we shit? I mean, what do you mean, what is this we? We in it together. He says, Tubbs, I'd love to help you, but I got 2 problems. I said, what's that? He says, I'm locked up. I said, so? He said, and don't forget, I'm a coward. I'm like, oh, man, damn, you know. So I'm on my own. I said, but you got to help me think of my, way out of this. He says, well, why don't you do what I always do? I said, well, I don't know what a coward always do. Enlighten me. He said, you just kiss his ass until you can figure out another plan. I said, well, I don't know how to do that. I need you to teach me. So he's like, oh, it's easy, you know. Okay, help me out here. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I'm feeling very, very Jacoby. You know, you know, this guy is in there moving like lightning speed. And so he said, just offer him some of that blueberry cobbler we had. We got some more left. Perfect. So I walk in there, and the mummy's on the other side. And I said, hey, hey man, you know we got some of that blueberry cobbler in there. He said, huh? I said, yeah, we got a whole bunch of that blueberry cobbler, and we got us some, and we saved some for you. He said, really? I said, yeah, man, shoot. As a matter of fact, why don't you just go take you a break, and I'll catch these dishes while you eat your blueberry cobbler, you know? Thought I'd get a few points with that. So he said, no, I'm cool. Okay, I mean, he said he's cool. So we sit there and getting the dishes and everything else. And I said, man, it really tastes good. You know, if you had some ice cream, I wish we had some ice cream to put over that cobbler or whatever. He said, but we ain't got no goddamn ice cream now, do we? And I'm thinking, well, this ass kissing thing just ain't working out quite like I thought. I need Jacob down here to show me how it's done. So I called Jacob down here. I said, damn, Jacob, I was just telling my friend here that if we had some ice cream to go with that blueberry cobbler, it sure would taste better. I always like to put ice cream on it, you know, when I'm on the street. And Jacob says, well, we're not on the street. And I'm like, well, God damn, Jacob, I understand we're not on the streets. But I'm trying to work here. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it does taste better that way, you know. So anyway, he stayed down there, and between the two of us, we worked the mummy. So all of a sudden, man, we had the mummy laughing and everything else. I said, man, come on out, man. So let's go eat our blueberry cobbler. So we sitting out there, and we made sure that we gave the mummy the big half, you know. We just took a little small portion just to be sociable, you know. As far as I was concerned, it's not that I was scared. Okay, I was scared. But he could have had all the blueberry cobbler that day. So we sitting there talking and everything else. We had the mummy laugh and everything else. And then all of a sudden he stopped in the middle of the laugh, right? And he said, you know what, man? And I said, what's that, man? He said, you know, I was intending to kick your ass today. I said, man, get the fuck out of here. For real? He said, man, you ain't gonna know. You don't know how many times I went to sleep wanting to strangle your scrawny ass, man. That's all I ever thought about, man, is get off this Thorazine so I can kill this motherfucker that keep pushing my hands away. Man, I dreamed about choking your ass to death. I said, well, I'm just glad it was just a dream, you know. So I said, man, what is that made them give you that Thorazine anyway? He said, well, I got a tendency when I get mad, I just haul off and just knock the shit out of a guard. I said, really? You know? I had noticed that Jacob had got up and got some tea. He always got this tea. You know, you get tea 24/7 in the feds. I don't know what the hell it is about tea, you know, but they love tea in there. So I smoothly got up from my seat to inside with Jacob's. When he come back, don't think that, you know, little bit of betrayal didn't go unnoticed because he let me know. So, we sit back, and he was a team player, and we kicked it, and we worked the mummy, and the mummy told us all about his exploits, about how he knocked the shit out of a guard here and there, and he said they beat the crap out of him for doing it. He said, but he didn't give a damn, you know. He had a lot of time, so I think he had either 34 or 35 years or something like that. So he felt like he wasn't going home. And he didn't give a damn about nothing. You get smart with him, he was putting that fist to you. So later on, me and Jacob and the mummy got cool, man. And we stayed cool all the way until I got transferred to Leavenworth Camp. So the moral of the story is, man, don't judge people by, you know, just what their appearance is and everything else, because that could have really went south for me, you know, messing with the mummy like that. I didn't really mean no harm about it or whatever, but sometimes people take things, you know, the wrong way. But he was a good-hearted dude, and he realized that, you know, we wasn't out to hurt nobody. And so he had squashed that whole thing out between us. And we ended up being kind of cool. So anyway, I thought y'all liked that. You know, here's something that's not always about violence and everything else. And so I hope you enjoyed the story, The Mummy. And I'll get back with y'all to tell some more stories. And so like, subscribe, comment, and peace out. I'll talk to y'all later.
Boys K-Dip, so you know it got slap. What you know about doing hard time in the lockup? No appeal and your baby mama knocked up. You only win with a father, you gotta survive. You better have some hands to get knotted up. Seeing friends turn to foes, you can't trust nobody. Every day is a test, and you gotta have heart, and you gotta be smart, and you can't be a mark, and a blame to your heart.
Welcome to TubbsTV.